in our culture, when there's one successful person in the family, everybody go to that person for handouts.
Yeah,
but instead of giving handouts, he used to take everybody, put them in the pickup, and go to the farm.
Hello guys, welcome to Alvin211 Media, and of course I'm your host Ian. Thank you very much for your support, especially for our last episodes. We really appreciate you so much for what we've been doing together. So reaching 700 subscribers was not that easy, but you pushed us there. So thank you very much. Our guest is actually Mabior Garang the Mabior. He discussed with us as we consulted about the tomato revolution. Tomato revolution is what he believes in, the agribusiness that can change our society and transform us to a modern way of living instead of focusing on removing our regime. That tomato revolution is what is born in 1977 by his parents since he was young. So actually, let us hear from him what it means and why he insisted all the time that we should be going back to agriculture. Thank you very much. Welcome very much, sir.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to meet you today.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to our program.
Yeah.
So first of all, we would like to know how you are continuing with your health issues. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm much better.
Okay.
Of course, I'm suffering from an unknown disease that I've not been able to be diagnosed by the doctors.
Okay.
Yeah, but they told me that I just have to continue doing what I've been doing. My yoga exercise, herbal medicines. So like that has brought me to this point from being in a wheelchair.
Yeah, sure.
Up to being in this point where I'm strong now. So I thank God.
Yeah, sure. We thank God for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. We won't like that. So right now you're okay.
But yeah, I'm much better. Even though sometimes I go back, but I'm okay now.
Yeah, okay. That's great. That's great. We are very happy for that. We appreciate. Thank God.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about the tomato revolution.
Yeah, the tomato revolution, well, I have to, it has two stages. Well, I have to go back as far back as I can go back.
Yeah.
And I was born on April 1977. And in April 1977, my mother and my father were doing farming in Bor.
Yeah.
And so they had a piece of land and they grew a lot of tomatoes until they had a surplus of tomatoes, and they made different products like salsal and those kind of things. So tomato revolution started all that time ago, in 1977. Yeah, when I was born, my father and my mother had a small farm in Bor. And when we used to come for holidays, because my father was working in the general headquarters in Khartoum.
Yeah.
But when we would come for holidays, that farm was there. He used to encourage the youth to farm, because in our culture, when there's one successful person in the family, everybody go to that person for handouts.
Yeah,
but instead of giving handouts, he used to take everybody, put them in the pickup, and go to the farm. To teach people the value of work. Yeah. That how important work is. So I can say that it has been there since I was born. And after the war broke out in 1983, of course, those things were abandoned. Yeah. The rest is history, as you know. We got independence of South Sudan. Yeah, but ever since, even the SPLM struggle, they were fighting, but they were also cultivating. Our people were cultivating, like they are the one who supported the soldiers with their produce that they used to produce. So farming is not something foreign to our people. It is our elders who have inspired us. So more specifically about the tomato revolution, in 1997 we were studying here in Nairobi at USIU. Yeah. And we had me and some Pan-African comrades, we incorporated ourselves into a Pan-African organization called REMNA, which stands for Revolutionary Movement for New Africa.
Okay.
We were inspired by the study group of Yoweri Museveni and those of John Garang in University of Dar es Salaam, who formed a study group when they're in university, and they used to read books about Pan-Africanism and African history, because the colonial curriculum will not teach you, the colonial education will not give you the tools to liberate yourself.
For sure.
So you need to study outside of the university as well as getting the credentials to survive in the system. you also need to study outside of the school. So we formed a study group inspired by university students, African Revolutionary Front. And we used to read books and share books together. And so that grew, and one day these youth, they pressured me, since I'm the son of the late, I have access. They said we want to meet.
For sure.
So I arranged a meeting, and we went to meet him, and we gave him a document of our ideas as young people, of what we want to do as young African people. About 20 pages or 25 pages document. We submitted it to him, and he stayed with that document for over 1 year, studying that document until we thought he had forgot about the document. But one day he called us back, and he handed us back our document, and it was condensed to about 5 to 6 pages. And he told us it was a great idea, we should continue it, and he gave us from his headquarters, he gave us 2 pickups for me and these youth to go and visit the liberated areas of South Sudan and interact with the youth in the liberated areas. At that time in Yei, there was an organization called New Sudan Youth Association. It was headed by somebody called Ramatali Wani. The one who led it after that is known by most, called Paul. He led it after that. He became a member of political bureau of SPLM under the youth ticket. So we are part of the history of the movement. So when we came back from the liberated areas and we met Dr. John again, he gave us the idea of onions and tomatoes. Of course, we chose tomato instead of onion as a symbol for our struggle.
For your
instead of choosing onions, but onions and tomatoes was something that he told us there's always a market for onions and tomatoes. The only thing that will happen is the market will go low or the market will go high. But there's always, if you plant tomatoes or you plant onions, there will always be a market for it. So this is something that remained in the back of my mind. And after he passed away, in the way he passed away, and the situation that happened in South Sudan after that, I found myself in hardships, and I remembered what he told me, that if you ever find yourself in hardship, you go to the tomato. And I did not know at the time, but when I went to the tomato now, I went and found what the tomato is all about, because we might see it just as a simple tomato growing on a small plant. But if you look at the dishes traditionally today, South Sudanese are poor. People eat asida gargash, but our people used to cook. They had a culture of cooking. And all the meals in South Sudan, the foundation of every meal is salsa, and salsa is tomatoes. So every mullah, the base of it is tomato.
It's tomato.
To build any mullah, you use salsa.
Use salsa,
So in cooking, it is the foundation of every cooking. And if you look at the tomato itself, you can process it into powder, you can process it into juice, you can process it into paste, and so it symbolizes industrialization. So we chose it as a symbol to symbolize our revolution. And in our revolution, because many people in South Sudan, it has stuck in their mind that revolution is something violent. But revolution can be anything, like the information technology revolution, where people used to shout from one place to another. But today people have telephones. That's a revolution. Nobody was killed. You see, so the same thing when we say our revolution, the tomato revolution, our detractors try to bring mischief, and but that's why we come up with the slogan of seeds, not bullets. Our struggle will be waged with the seeds and not with bullets. So we will use agriculture as a platform for us to be able to have conversations, and this is where now national conversation comes in. The actual organization is national conversation, but tomato revolution is like our battle cry, in the war that we have declared on hunger. Because we see hunger as the root cause, poverty as the root cause of problems in our country. So this is in brief what I can say about tomato revolution. And it's a bigger part in that is the national conversation, and I can also tell you about national conversation a little bit.
Okay.
The national conversation came about because when we, as you know, we were, after the war broke out in 2013, some of us chose to be part of the opposition, and we were in the SPLM-IO, but some dirty politics, because what our people know as politics is dirty politics.
Yeah.
So dirty politics happens in every party, and some people, and we were pushed out of the party by other people who are more positioned within IO.
Yeah.
And so we did not fight, because we don't believe in lobbying for positions. So we decided not to fight those people, and we left quietly, and we came to set up business. And we set up a business here in Kenya. Yeah, called Nile Valley Foods. And this gave us a lot of experience in farming. We cultivated fool, something that we did not know that fool can grow.
Yeah.
We have started growing fool now in South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's now growing, and we want to debunk the myth that fool cannot grow. This is why we say it's a revolution.
Yeah.
So we came to Kenya, we set up a business called Nile Valley Foods, which is growing. You will see some of the products we have sent for them to bring for you. And when we set up the business in Kenya, it was easy, because the economy in Kenya is developed.
Yeah.
The local farmer in Kenya are well developed, where if I set up an agribusiness here in Kenya, I can go to the countryside and I can rely on the youth in the countryside to produce something that I can add value.
Okay.
You see? But then as we did our business, we used to hear our detractors always talking about, you're farming in foreign lands. You're farming in foreign lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason we are farming in foreign land is because the capacity of our farmer is not built. So that if I go and set up the same thing I'm doing here in South Sudan, here I can go and I can get eggplants. Any day I can wake up and I go and I'll get eggplants in the market. Any day I'll wake up, I can get any product I want to add value. But in South Sudan, you might get it today, tomorrow you might not get it.
Yeah.
Because there's not so many farmers who are developed.
Yeah,
if you get that one farmer, they will supply you, but one farm cannot supply a factory. You see, so we found that the level of the capacity of our farmer is low. They are still in subsistence farming.
Yeah.
So as a social responsibility, we said that the Nile Valley Foods here in Kenya, we have used some of the resources of the money we are making here to establish national conversation in South Sudan.
Yeah.
And under national conversation in South Sudan, we have a project which is called Youth Agricultural Farm. And the idea of Youth Agricultural Farm is to build the capacity of our local farmers.
Yeah.
So we have over 20 groups who have signed, who have registered on who have gone and registered through our survey of farmers in South Sudan, which is online.
Okay.
Some few months ago, we signed an MOU with 15 groups who had signed by that time.
Okay.
But since then, now they have grown to 20 or more. Farmers groups. So we plan to give them training in how to do what we learned to do here in Kenya.
Yeah.
And we will use that as a platform for us to have conversations, about transforming, because it's a very dangerous game in our country where when we talk about change, we have to qualify what change, what are we talking about, because sometimes you can be seduced into regime change agenda. And regime change agenda will not take our country anywhere, But the kind of change that we want is a social change, because our societies as they exist today are not free, because there is social engineering which took place during the Turkiya.
Yeah.
So that our societies in pre-Turkiya times had different values, like the Dinka, the Nuer, the Shuluk, Choli, Lotuko. We have shared cultural values, as South Sudanese before the Turkiya came. But after the Turkiya came, they came with slavery, and colonialism. And this, you cannot maintain your values of pre-colonial times during the time of colonialism. So new trends and new leaders emerged in our society who would support slavery, who would support, and our real leaders, like the spiritual leaders of the Nuer, the Dinka, the Shuluk, were imprisoned in Malakal.
Yeah.
Some were exiled, some were killed, and a new society that supports colonialism and slavery emerged in our society.
Yeah.
But when the slavery was abolished legally, the societies which support them were not, there was no repatriation or what you would call reparation.
Yeah.
There was no reparation for the children of the former slaves in our country. You know, so the trauma of slavery and things is still there with our people.
Yeah, I see.
You know, and so we need to have conversations about this. You know, today it is considered, you know, a value to hold on to, for us to marry 13-year-old girls who are not even yet ready to have children.
Yeah.
But this can be seen today as if this is our culture, and somebody can argue that this is our culture. But it's our culture from which time?
Yeah, sure.
Is it our culture from before Turkey, or is it our culture from after Turkey?
Yeah.
The hatred between the Dinka and the Nuer. Is it from before Turkey, or is it after Turkey?
Yeah.
So many of the things that happen in our society today are trauma. You know, they are a result of social trauma on our people.
Yeah.
You know, and so the national conversation wants the young people to begin to have conversations about this.
Yeah,
and the platform we want to use is agriculture and agribusiness. You know, as a platform. Those youth who are more educated, we want to train them how to do agribusiness from the value addition perspective. Our youth who are not so educated, we can teach them from the production point of view. Yeah. And this way together we can build an economy, the youth in the countryside and the youth in the town.
Yeah,
so this is what National Conversation, Youth Agricultural Farm, Tomato Revolution is all about. And our revolution is done with seeds, not bullets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mabior, and we are very happy for this. Follow us tomorrow, guys. We shall talk more about the national conversation and the tomato revolution and the rest.
Yeah.
Right? So we will go to the farm and make a documentary. Follow with us and get to know what is there and what it means. Thank you. You're highly welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.